Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You can see my screen. All right, let's just start things off. We're going to have a crypto talk, share some thoughts and ideas about the crypto markets. The markets isn't the best. Look at the charts. So, yeah, what we're going to discuss is just some few headlines, some topics, what happened in the previous weeks, and what we can expect. And then we're just going to share our strategies, how to be most profitable, and to prepare ourselves for the next boom market that's coming up. Okay. Sai, do you want to start things off this time?
Sure. Give me just a second. I need to pull up a couple of web pages,
Yeah.
websites.
I shared some good
My
rabbit hole
computer.
stuff for you guys. We're going deep into the matrix.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's gonna be amazing.
I think. I mean, this is a bit rough, but it should do the trick. I think. Um. Okay, my charts are going to be all messed up, but hopefully they are enough, and it's clear enough what I want to say. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing. First, kind of want to talk a bit about macro.
Yeah, sure.
I
Go ahead.
think macro is very important, especially in a bear market like we are right now. Wait, did I share them? No. Okay, this is the one. Nice. Okay, so first thing that has impacted markets in general this month was CPI inflation. So, consumer price index in the USA, it came higher than expectations. The main line, the headline CPI came about 0.2% above expectations, but the core CPI came in at 0.3% above expectations, which is not a good sign because it means that inflation hasn't stopped. And that means that the Fed is going to keep being aggressive as long as they are able to, which means that if inflation is high and unemployment is low, which is something that's happening right now, they're going to keep raising interest rates, which means that there is going to be less money circulating, it's going to be more expensive to borrow money, and it's just not good for risk markets. So, stock market, crypto, anything that's not considered a safe haven currently is going to be greatly impacted by this.
So
Which
people
in
are
turn,
afraid to invest money, right? To
yeah,
spend their
exactly,
money.
because
Everybody's gonna save into the money and
yeah,
keep
and in
holding the
fact,
dollar.
yeah, and counterintuitively, most people should probably like in order to not lose money, what they should do is not invest, which kind of sounds dumb when we're talking about nearing 9 to 10% inflation year on year. But yeah, that's what we're in. Like, if you were to invest it in stocks, stocks have done poorly across 2022, and I don't think it's going to get incredibly better in 2023. At least not at the beginning of 2023. So yeah, that's impacted markets pretty negatively. People were expecting CPI down and probably Fed's attitude a bit more dovish or less aggressive. And what happened is that they didn't go dovish. They are still very much aggressive. So at the FOMC, which happened this Wednesday, Thursday, actually Wednesday, they raised interest rates by 75 basis points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's its fourth 75 basis points increase in a row, I think, if I recall correctly. And on the FOMC, they put their forecast of what the federal bank's rate is going to be at in the end of the year, and the forecast between members of the Fed was 4.4%. We are currently at 3.25%. There are 2 FOMC meetings left this year. So the members of the committee of the FOMC are expecting around at least 250 basis point hikes, but most likely they're expecting 175 basis point hike and then a 50 basis point hike, which is pretty high to do in just 1 year. So they're really aggressive, and as of right now, they don't seem to have any reason to slow down. The main two reasons to slow down would be one, inflation coming down significantly, not just like a couple of, like 0.2% below. No, it has to go down, like, it has to be noticeable. And if unemployment remains low, so unemployment figures were like pretty good, actually below forecast. So unemployment looks pretty good for now. So if unemployment looks strong, and in the eyes of at least Jerome Powell, too strong, um, they're just going to keep raising interest rates because they have no reason not to do that.
Yeah.
Which means that again, money's more expensive, quote unquote. It's harder to borrow money, all of that stuff.
So
So in
basically, in a
general,
nutshell, it's best to invest right now, dollar cost averaging, when everybody's like saving and holding into their money and cashing out into dollars.
not really. Like the thing is that right now people don't want to invest because the situation doesn't look good to invest in. That's why things like the S&P and stocks are dropping so much. Like they've dropped like 25% from their all-time high, and it's because people just don't think that it's going to go up.
Mm.
And even though you have inflation, it's sometimes even better to just not put your money into most investments because they're just going to go down and further devalue the money that you have. So yeah, that's kind of my macro perspective about this.
What
Uh,
do you expect in the upcoming year, 2023?
so 2023, bit too early to tell.
Okay.
I think that there is going to be more pain down the road, and it's going to be longer than people think.
Mhm.
But I don't know how it will affect prices. I don't know if it's going to go like. I've seen many people talking about like 11, for example, in crypto. I've seen a ton of people talking about like a 12 to 10K Bitcoin macro bottom,
Yeah.
and I'm, at least for now, I'm kind of inclinated to believe that that is a pretty fair assumption to make.
Yeah.
So maybe, like maybe in 3 months' time, stuff changes globally, and it's like, oh no, 2023 is going to be ugly, like really ugly. So maybe that changes, or maybe it's like, no, you know what? Actually, things are looking up. Like, yeah, this might be macro bottom. So again, I don't know, but right now, I think that we should be cautious heading into 2023. I don't think it's just going to be like, oh yeah, 2022 was bad, but 2023 is going to be awesome right from the beginning. No, I, at least, again, with current information, I just don't think that's going to be the case.
Mhm. I'm also
So,
I'm
yeah.
also leaning towards
Mhm.
the March of 2024. That's when the next halving is gonna take place and when things are gonna catch up according to the historical data, what we see in the Bitcoin charts.
Mhm.
So that's when I expect the markets to make a reversal. But for now, I'm just dollar cost averaging during the time right now, so it's a good buying opportunity from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and also, in terms of crypto, we also have like things that are not just like macro. We also have regulations coming in.
Mm-hmm.
There is something I've been kind of thinking about, but not looking too much into it because I don't know how much it could affect. But there's been I don't know where exactly, but uh, there's a trial where Tether has to comply with giving documents, like specific documents about their reserves of
Mm.
USDT, and that's kind of dangerous. Again, like from what I've heard, I've been hearing it since I started in 2021 that Tether USDT is pretty dangerous
Yeah,
because they're not necessarily one to one backed by cash.
exactly. Yeah, they don't have it. They don't have it. They haven't even
Yeah.
completed complete audit in the past decade, if I'm
So
not wrong. So
So yeah,
it's
I
really
mean,
dangerous. If Tether is gonna collapse, the whole crypto
yeah,
market is gonna
exactly.
bleed.
So like,
It's gonna
if
go
Tether
down.
collapses, this is going to
It's
be
over.
worse than Luna.
It's gonna be worse. It's
Like
gonna be so horrible.
it's 100% going to be worse than Luna because Luna was like, it was just one coin. It
Exactly.
was a pretty big coin, admittedly. Yes, it was, but it was just one coin that just kind of hit this space
Yeah.
at a bad time globally. But if we're at a bad time globally and then we get that USDT is like, holy shit, it loses its peg and it
It's
goes to like 50 cents per
yeah.
USDT.
Usually
Like
it's like the
every
heart of
single,
crypto.
like almost every single crypto pair, the first stablecoin they get is USDT, not USDC, not BUSD, not any other thing, not DAI. No, USDT. So if that collapses, oh boy, we're going to be in for a ride.
It's gonna be very painful
It's going
for
to
all
be
of the
so.
people.
But again, it's not happened. I cannot think. I can't assume that it's going to happen 100%. But it's just something that I'm keeping, you know, in
Keeping in the
check.
back of my hand, yeah.
Exactly.
Don't
Like
go
it's
crazy on
it's there.
crypto.
It's there. I'm not going to think that oh, Tether is going to collapse tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's definitely something that I'm very much wary of. If it happens, it's going to bring pain and fear like
Yeah,
everywhere in the crypto space. So
true.
yeah, it's kind of macro perspective on just the macroeconomics.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Bitcoin and crypto more specifically, there is something that kind of concerns me about this chart. So this chart right here
I
is
see CryptoCraft.
oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Didn't move? Oh shoot! I hold on, give me just a second. I did. Okay, there we go. Now does it show a chart from Glassnode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so this right here is the difficulty in Bitcoin mining. So Bitcoin, as of the Ethereum merge, like the last bastion, quote unquote, that still works in proof of work. And this basically tells you how difficult it is to get Bitcoin. Basically measures, how many participants there are in the network,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on that, it adjusts difficulty in a way such that there is approximately one block of Bitcoin mined every 10 minutes or so. And we had this, it was rising since basically like July, August from last year, and we had this part with there was just this panic. I think this was actually after Luna, and then it started dropping,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago, it kind of started going up again. So, but now it's actually above, like it's all-time high currently.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think this has mainly happened because of the Ethereum merge. So proof of work miners have been looking into other potential coins
To
to
mine.
go to and to mine and to gain profitably. And Bitcoin is a pretty safe crypto to mine. Like you can go like this ETH like Ethereum proof of work, this Ethereum Classic, like other stuff. You can go there, but like Bitcoin is pretty, it's pretty up there as an option.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can honestly not explain this just peak that happened any other way.
Yeah.
And the problem with this is that miners need to be profitable in their operations, and they're getting paid in Bitcoin. So if they need money, they're going to sell Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yes.
So they're going to put selling pressure whenever they need to sell.
So I think
Now,
the
what
capitulation still must
happens?
coming, right?
I think we're going to drop below what we're currently at. Like I think like low tens is definitely not a crazy thing for people to think about in terms of how low could we go.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't think 17.5k was the bottom. Like definitely not, especially not with this macro environment. I'd be very very surprised if we don't go below that. But what this means is that if miners start having pressure, so for example, let's say that you're a miner and you take out a loan, for your mining rigs, and you expected to pay it with Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize that mining Bitcoin costs you around like, I don't know, 20K. Just to say, it's not the exact number currently. I think it's lower, like around 17 point a lot. But it's around this range. So imagine Bitcoin costs you to mine 20K, and you get 18K worth of Bitcoin. So you're losing money, and you also need cash. So
Mm-hmm.
in order to get cash, you're going to sell your Bitcoin, which is already like underwater. That's going to create further selling pressure
Yeah.
for those mining operations that don't have the long-term sustainability to mine through, you know, negative periods. And that's going to create more selling pressure for Bitcoin. And this spike only exacerbates the issue. Like, if these miners move to other chains instead of Bitcoin, what are they going to do? Like, maybe they could just hodl Bitcoin, maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think they're going to. I think it's more likely that they will dump it just to cover costs.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not good looking. Bitcoin dominance has been kind of bugging me lately because it's so low,
I don't
and
see it.
it's been so.
We still see
Yeah,
less than.
yeah. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna put some charts over here. Okay, so just first of this is inflation year on year, year over year. So yeah, we're still 8.3. We still haven't moved down like significantly as we would like to. So, oh, I think I'm not good to have logarithmic. Oh boy, oh boy.
Just click on auto, right bottom.
Oh, oh, thank you. So yeah, you would kind of like to see, you would kind of want to see this kind of stuff, like steadily going down throughout the months.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like, this could keep growing. Like, this could be, this could be this. For all we know, it could keep growing. Like, it's not definitive that it's going
Yeah.
down. So this is risky.
Sheesh.
This is
Yes.
dangerous. Also, in terms of dominance has been looking. Let me get rid of this. Dominance has been looking really low lately, like really, really low. So if I go to the weekly, this is the weekly. In terms of Bitcoin dominance, this was like, these ads. It was like May 2021st or 2021. Um, we had this pump whenever Bitcoin was when everything was dropping, Bitcoin was like dropping less, and altcoins were dropping more. And after that, we just been kind of going low. This has been holding pretty well. We haven't fallen below this like 40 to 39% dominance range, but it just feels weak. I don't think it's going to continue to be weak for the following weeks. So I'm already eyeing all coins to short because I just don't trust this thing. Like, I would find it really suspicious that we just stay in here, like going towards 2023. I just don't think that's the case. Also, another chart that kind of touching again on the inflation and all of that. This is
US dollar, yeah.
this is the DXY, the dollar currency index.
Mm.
So, what can we see about this thing? It's been in an absolute roll, which means that dollars are really
Parabolic.
valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not stopping. Like the daily,
No, it's way too strong.
this doesn't look like it's stopping. It could maybe just have a retracement, but you know, it looks pretty strong. Like if I go to the Heikin-Ashi to measure momentum, this is a ton of momentum, a ton of volume pushing in. Like, it doesn't look good. So yeah, that's kind of that's it about macro. Also, kind of wanted to talk a bit if about the merge because people were saying, the Ethereum merge, like this crazy big event. Get rid of this. So what happened during the merge? Well, this was like 2 months before the merge. You can see that we rallied from this 1,000 lows. Technically, if you could put the bottom in here, it would be like 900 lows. all the way up to 2K, which is pretty good. When did the merge happen? Well, merge happened 15 September 15, if I recall correctly. So here, from this day, we are actually down, and we've been kind of on a downtrend even before that. So it was kind of obvious that this pump, like in this time, Bitcoin pumped from 17.5 to 25K. That was not a big pump.
No.
Like, let's say from here, it was like a 30%. Let's take Wix, why not? 33%. This was a 2x in that same time. This was a 2x. So yeah, it was up by the rumors, so the news.
Exactly.
Now people are dumping Ethereum, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I mean, it ain't looking good. Like, this was prior to the merge. This is after the merge. We could still fall. Like, we got this
It's
kind
still
of
on an
ascending
uptrend,
support.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still on an uptrend. I think it will continue to be on a macro uptrend, but it doesn't mean that we won't have bumps along the road.
The bull market is like, I think what I have here, we still have to wait a long time. It's gonna be boring.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be boring, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be. I think this is going to be an endurance contest. To be honest. So yeah, I think we're definitely not out of the woods in terms of downside.
No.
I could very easily see Bitcoin in the coming weeks shredding through this support, like this 18, 19, 18. If you want to pick 7.5, 17.5, you can do so. I think we're going to shred, and we're going to just drop below the support and probably go right around this area.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like,
can't tell you when, can't tell you why, but I think it's going to happen. And I don't think, if we were to see some relief, which we could right now, I'm eyeing this as a potential resistance, like this descending trend line that was formed since like mid-August. I don't think would go above that currently, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Again, not the most optimistic person right now. I'm sorry.
yeah.
But
Understandable.
I just don't think the stars are aligning right now. I think that this is like a really good opportunity if you want to get into crypto. There's much less noise. Like those, high profile hype beasts, they're not talking as much, and they don't flood, YouTube, Twitter, whatnot, with mindless, shilling of a random shitcoin that they got paid to sponsor.
No.
So if you actually want to get into crypto and to kind of understand and get into ecosystems, look for NFTs, look for opportunities, I think this is a really, really good time to get into that.
True.
Because again, there is less noise. For example, I'm trying to. It's not going super well because it's not quite up there yet. But I've been doing some mild arbitrage on Cardano, and it's been going pretty well. Like Cardano ecosystem, not just the token ADA. And it's been doing decently well. Like I'm not moving like it's like $20, but I'm almost double that amount. And it's like I'm doing it manually. I don't even have a bot coded in because the APIs just don't want to cooperate. It's just like, okay, maybe I learn arbitrage, maybe I can code a bot. I'm not in a rush because it's not like everything's doing crazy profits. It's just like I can take my time, and whenever it's ready, it's ready. And if it goes well, it goes well. I mean, bull markets is going to make bank. So for those that are here long term, like this is a golden age. Like don't buy much yet, DCA if you want to, but this is a really good time. And yeah, that's kind of it from my side. What about you, Laga?
From my side, well, I prepared some stuff for you guys to start things off. First of all, I want to thank you so much for all the information. I've learned a lot as well, from especially from your side, when the chart of Glassnode and how you look at the market.
Yeah,
So
Glassnode actually.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
Glassnode, you can actually. This is like a free membership. Like you don't have to pay a cent.
Oh,
to look
really?
for, yeah, they do have a paid version to look like at more advanced charts, but
Uh
I'm
huh.
just using the free version and it's great, honestly. And
Okay.
they actually have a YouTube channel. They release one weekly video about like kind of macro stuff in crypto,
Yeah.
and they actually showcase some of the tier 2 and tier 3 graphs, which are paid, just for like paid membership. They are so good. I highly recommend them. Like Glassnode, really, really good to
Yeah.
get data.
I'm gonna do that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, from my side, to summarize it, I don't see the market's gonna it's gonna go bullish again, but there's some potential that I see it might happen. First of all, the first thing I want to do is I always go to this website. It's called MoneyChimp. And this website, you can see the ROI per month based on 71 years. So from 1950 to 2021. And then you can
Oh.
see like September is most bearish. And then
Mm-hmm.
October, November, and December, they're really good months for reversal. So what I think what is possible that can happen is if we look at the chart of Bitcoin from all the way back to 2010 and 2000 till this very day, we can see either two things happening. We can see that in the sideways market, especially in the time where we're in right now, the bear market, we can see some relief rally that can take place just like over here, or we can see something like this happening as well. So if we look over here, we can see that the market was going down till July 2013, and then slowly around September, it started to consolidate, and then it went up, went parabolic again in October, November, and December. So this is also one possibility that can happen. Um, so be prepared. But if it happens, make sure to take your profits along the way because another scenario that can happen during the relief rally is that we can have another big capitulation over here, what we had during the pandemic. So yeah, overly the market doesn't look really well, but for my as an investor, it looks really well because I'm just keep dollar cost averaging into good projects and keep buying those crypto coins with strong fundamentals, and then I just wait till 2024. So 2023, I'm just gonna work a lot, make a lot of money, and then put some money aside to invest in cryptocurrency. That's what I'm gonna do. And then after 2024, the supply shock will come, and then per block you will get 3.12 and a half Bitcoin BTC, which is gonna make sure that the supply is gonna shrink even more, and that is gonna result in hopefully another bull run that's gonna slowly catch up to 100k, up to 200k. So that's what I believe. And another thing that I want to point out for you guys is this is also I was just playing with the charts, and this is how you can take your profits. So if you look at let me just go. Oh no, sorry. Let me just remove the Fibonacci first. So this is basically what I did. I was just playing with some numbers and some tools. Um, so if you go to the chart of Bitcoin and we look at the previous all-time high, this one, to our bear market low, if we drag it around, we can see that the levels where we should take our profits are actually around these levels. This is one way to take some profits. This is one level to take some profits. This is one level to take a profit. This one and the rest above the 4.2.3.6 is gonna be super parabolic. So if you just do this with the same thing, what happened with the previous market, you just use the Fibonacci tool. This is one place to take your profits. This is one way to take your profits. This is one way to take your profit, and here over here. So if I just follow this plan, the Fibonacci sequence, I would have made a very good return on investment in terms of taking your profits along the way. So I'm still waiting for the bottom that's coming in, and if the bottom is gonna be around 14k, then the next price targets when I'm gonna take my profits are gonna be around 100k, 150k, 200k, and then 236k. that's when I this is when I look at the chart and compare the previous cycles, which is the Fibonacci tool, and it has been proven over and over again that this plan is actually a good plan to determine where the next resistance is going to be and to when Bitcoin is going above 70K, it's going to be all speculative asset. Nobody knows where the high is going to be, but according to the Fibonacci tool, we can see some potential targets when people are going to take some profits, and the one when the market's gonna have some corrections along the way. So this is one plan that I'm focusing on. And another thing that I want to point is um, this has been in development in the past years, ever since the pandemic happened, is digital ID. Digital ID is basically every person's biometrics ID, with your passport, driver's license, your government documents, and so on. Everything's going to be digitized. It's going to be with an app. So once you get stopped by a police officer, or when you want to travel, you just have to show this app where they just can scan your QR code, and then they will have all the information about you. But the dangerous side of this is this. This is what I point out. It's the eID. The eID is connected with your banking account. The government has direct access to it. Your insurance, your commerce, your personal ID, personal stuff that you buy, personal taste. Your social media, your career, where you travel, and your health. Everything regarding medical records. Everything is connected to this eID. So if somebody is gonna protest against the government can just block this eID, and you won't have access to anything. So this is the way. This is one of the things that I'm um, aiming out. You just thinking about the development that is happening ever since the pandemic happened. We just started to live more digitally. People had those vaccine passports, but digitally as a QR code. So it's just a prototype for the real digital IDs coming up. And in Germany is already probably gonna happen in 2023. I'm not sure, but I saw some articles about it, but I don't know if it's confirmed yet. So it's really around the corner that we're going to live in a digital world where the government have a lot of access to us, a lot of information. It's going to be more centralized, more power to the government. So it's going to be very scary times. Well, on the other side is what we can see is that when the digital revolution is going to take place, when everybody is going to start more to live more digitally, we can see that cryptocurrency is definitely here to stay, and it's a network that we need. So, from my perspective as an investor, I'm going to invest in projects that actually support these type of developments that we need in the futuristic civilization that we're going to live in. And that's how you make money in this market. That's what I did in the past 2.5 years, and it made me very profitable. I didn't take my profits, but I made a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of money, and it was very scary to see how much return on investment I made. But this is what I'm looking for. And also another threat that is going to happen is the World Economic Forum. They already spoke about it on their website. You can look it up on their YouTube channel as well. They were talking about if we're going to live more digitally, we're going to have a cyber pandemic coming up. That means that if a massive attack, cyber attack is going to take place, we're going to live in an offline digital world, and we need to be able to send money in an offline network as well. And this is what XPOP is delivering. It's called XRP Ripple. They're focusing on um, creating this network. I'm going to show you some images. It's actually a video, but to save us some time, I'm going to show you some screenshot that I made of the video. And this video was made published in 2021. So this is one thing, and this is also another thing. So this is why. What if extreme weather froze your bank account? So we now have all the climate change bullshit coming up, and let's say if we're gonna live in extreme weather and it's gonna freeze your bank account literally, it means that a severe snowstorm, for example, or a cyber attack could cut off people's access to money both in person and online. A situation that could lead to widespread panic and a loss of trust. Last year, cyber attack on U.S. software company SolarWinds. So basically, I took some screenshot, and basically what they're saying is like when a cyber attack is going to take place on a global level, we're going to live without the internet. So we need a solution that we need to be able to send money on an offline network. And I found this article as well. Ripple releases prototype version of XPOP, the software that will enable users to make payments without internet using XRPL. So if Ripple is going to win the lawsuit and Ripple is going to be implemented, going to be the new Swift banking system. It's going to replace the Swift banking system. It's going to turn a lot of money, a lot of trillions of amount of dollars in this network. It's going to be very profitable. So I don't support the decentralization. I'm not a big fan of it. If it's in the wrong hands, it's going to be very scary. But looking from this perspective, with the digital idea and the way we live nowadays, this could be very the case that we're going to live in the future. And also, Ripple also have those microchips developed that they can implement in the human hand right over here. And if they implement it in your hand, you can make payment transaction. They can just scan the chip with your ID. So it's not going to be on an app anymore. It's going to be in our body, just like our animals nowadays are chipped. They just scan the chip and they know everything about it. So this is the future that we're gonna live in, that we're going towards too. It's not gonna be very long. It's gonna be in around 5 to 10 years. That's what I believe. So as an investor, I look for where the trend is going. We're going to live in a digital world. We need some services, some networks that's gonna change the way we live. So I'm investing in those kind of projects, and these are the projects that I want to show to you guys. But before we dive into that, let's just discuss some charts of Bitcoin on the longer time frame. So if you look at Bitcoin, the chart of Bitcoin back in 2013 all the way to this year, we can see that um, this support line has been respected over the past decade, the past 10 years almost. So if this support line is going to be broken, it's going to, change this whole model. And I think a lot of people will sell. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure coming up. So be aware of that. So this is also another indicator that the market could go for a reversal and make its continue its journey to all the way to 280k. Um, we have some RSI movements with the Bitcoin price actions. So we're now in the lower price range where the market is going to consolidate for a long time. It's going to be very boring, and once we get out of that, it's going to be hopefully going to result in a relief rally, or it's going to trigger the last move of this bull market. So if you look from the Elliott wave theory, only TA nerds know this. The last move, the fifth wave, is going to be very parabolic. So I'm just really curious what's going to happen, but I'm going to play the safe game. I'm just going to hodl a lot and just aim for 2024 for the next bull market. Okay, Bitcoin tops and bottoms with the RSI. We are currently, what's the RSI? Yeah, 22 days. So every candle visualizes 22 days, and the indicator in this chart is the RSI, relative strength index, and it's at the lowest level. So this could be potential the bottom of Bitcoin price. So it's going to be bouncing around 20k, 18k, 17k, and before we break this resistance level, and then we're going to continue the bull market. If the bull market is going to continue, I mean, the relief rally, if it's going to take place, it should take place around the price range of, I think, around 94k. Just look over here. It's going to take place around the golden pocket level, 0.618. So if it's going to take, if this is the potential bottom, then we should take our profits around 50k of Bitcoin, because then we expect another drop down in the price of Bitcoin. Maybe perhaps another black swan event is going to take place, and then it's a good time to reinvest your money with the profits that you took around this level as well. So keep that in mind. Don't forget that. Okay, these are some other charts. Let's compare the reversal. The reversal always took place with a double bottom pattern on the weekly time frame. So this is potentially gonna result in a double bottom, hopefully, and then can make its move to a relief rally. Um, but also, here's also the danger that I learned in the past bull run is that people, when they are super bullish, they're going to look for indicators in the past cycles that confirms their perspective. So as a trader, we need to have an open mind to always look at the bearish perspective as well, and also the bullish perspective, and be prepared for both scenarios. Okay, let's keep it simple. The trend line has to be broken. Double top reversal pattern, weekly RSI very low, all set for a breakout. So if you look at this chart, and if you look very critically at this chart, you can see that the price of Bitcoin has been reversed. So the bottom is 70k, which was the previous all-time high, and the top is 20k. The reason why some technical analysts do this is to change the perspective how you look at the chart. So if you look at this chart, you can see a double top being formed, which is a bearish indication. But if you reverse it, it's going to look like a double bottom. So this is also what I do sometimes from time to time, just to change my perspective, how I look at the chart, and to see if my perspective can be confirmed from different perspectives. Um, more charts. This is also the logarithmic chart, and we're currently in a bear markets. Gonna be choppy markets, sideways movements before we make another move up, and then we have some bearish divergences on the DXDY. So if you look at the dollar, you can see the RSI, it's making higher lows, and here in the price it's making higher highs, which means this is a hidden bearish divergence. So we can hopefully the dollar is gonna break its parabolic curve and it's gonna go down, and crypto is gonna make some relief rally movements. I hope that's gonna take place. If not, we just have to stay patient. All right, this is something that I want to ask you, SCY. I'm just going to read out this tweet. Full on crash mode. Retail traders spent 18 billion buying put option protection last week, a record. They're holding 46 billion worth of index futures, net short, a record. Leverage traders are betting on very, very bad things happening very, very soon. So this is also one of the indicators that I use is the GMX. Are you there, SCY?
Yeah.
So this is also what I use as well as an indicator. I just look at the amount of long position and short positions, and when I'm going for a leverage trade, if the long position is doubled or tripled compared to the short position, I'm gonna short the markets because everybody is expecting the
Going to
markets
get
to
liquidated. Yeah.
exactly. This is what I'm gonna do as well. So when I look at this tweet
Hmm.
and the chart, everybody's betting on the markets going lower. So I think like a short squeeze might take place. So liquidate all those people, and then the market is gonna go down. That's what I think what's gonna happen because the whales are playing a nasty game. Honestly, at the end it's just a whale game. The whales are controlling the market, and we as retail investors we have to stay patient. That's all we gotta do. All right, spoiler: the USD is backed by violence. Let's see what the USD is backed by. Oh, it's the Federal Reserve. It's just a joke that people need to understand that they're just printing money out of thin air, and it's gonna devalue the currency more and more if they just keep printing it. This is also another project that I want you guys to keep an eye on. It's called
Oh
Illuvium.
yeah,
They're
Illuvium.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're very professional and they have a lot of potential. I think the next trigger for the NFT and the bull market is gonna be gaming. Um, this play to earn or whatever. And Illuvium is doing a great job with creating their game. It looks amazing. It looks really amazing. The quality, the sound effects, it's very a team of professionals. Just
Hmm.
definitely keep an eye on this project as well. And this is also another chart that I want to point out to you guys is the bull cycle, the price structure, and the theory that's connected to it. Where at the time of when the majority of the markets are in a despair phase, everybody's angry, everybody's disappointed, they're blaming each other, and so on. But this is like a good time to buy your assets and just keep dollar cost averaging and be patient. All you gotta do is be patient. This is how the market psychology works. So don't be afraid. Some news that I want to share with you guys is Apple will allow developers to sell NFT in games and apps. Big projects, big companies such as Google, Apple, Microsoft, and so on, they're already into crypto. But because of the regulations that's coming up, they're still waiting before everything is getting regulated, and they're just gonna make an announcement that they're also investing in blockchain technology as well. Each green dot is a Bitcoin miner. Just if you look at around the world, it's like impossible to ban the Bitcoin network as there are a lot of like illegal miners active as well. So you can see that there are a lot of people believing in this network. It's going to keep the network alive. Coinbase received a regulatory approval to operate in the Netherlands. It's where I live. So hopefully more money is going to flow into this platform. Russia approves the use of Bitcoin and crypto cross-border payments. So hopefully we can buy some gas with Bitcoin instead of dollar. Just then, Israel issues first Bitcoin and crypto trading license to local exchange. So we can see that more countries are going to develop into cryptocurrency and digital payments. So CBDCs, also known as central bank digital currencies, are going to be developed by the government as well because they want to hold a grip of all the money flow. And this is also something that I want to share with you guys. I hope you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear it?
But they scream woke. We're distracted by that.
Can you hear it?
Uh, I don't think so. Don't think so.
Let me see. Let me just check my video and then you guys can hear it. Let me see. Let me restart my screen. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Half the country fell asleep,
Okay,
but they scream.
now I can hear it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, listen very closely and read the lyrics.
Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. We're distracted by vaccines and TV shows. Politics, celebrity, gossip, popular, neat quotes. Black lives, white lives, which lives mean most? We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men and women who died young. But if you come out the closet as Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero and you get a whole Pride Month. The most dangerous pandemic's propaganda from these clowns. Only mask that's gonna save us is duct tape on their mouths. Don't speak. We don't need to defund police, need to defund the media who lies through their teeth like Big Pharma doesn't cure you, dog, cause every patient that gets cured is a customer lost. And big oil runs the world, the only wars that get fought are with the countries who have natural resources they want. Heard him claiming if a white man braids his hair and likes rap, he's appropriating culture. But if a white man acts too white, he's white trash, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a monster. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors because they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them. Half the country fell asleep.
So this is basically like a short clip that I like to um, have a look at from time to time. It's basically like at least they're controlling the world. You can look at around the numbers, like they control every aspect that we live in. And some people they just spread the message through a music video, and it's just a short message of one minute. It basically summarized the whole pandemic and everything that is happening around the world. So they just basically want to have more control from a distance. And this also what that I want to point it to all of you guys is that don't blindly believe the media, because if you look at the pandemic and everything that happened, we can see that they kept repeating on the pandemic, and with just one speech from the government here in the Netherlands, when they just relifted up all um the rules of pandemic, everybody forgot about it. Like if I go outside, it just basically looked like it doesn't exist anymore. So one day it was a very hotline in the news, and the other day it wasn't anymore. So this is what you got to think. You need to think of what was the plan behind this, what was the agenda behind this. We can see that the people live more digitally, and we can see that um, the government, they really want to control the population from a distance. And this is also the climate change that you hear right now here in the Netherlands, especially as well, with the farm stuff that's going on. It's just complete bullshit. It's basically just making sure that um, the bankers, the big bankers, the farmers are gonna sell their grounds and natural resources and whatever, and the bankers, they're gonna buy those lands. So if you control the food, you control the population. That's also want to point out to all the people there is, don't be afraid of what the media is telling you, because all you hear is fear and fear and fear. Be fearful, whatever, whatever, and the government's just gonna step in and be pretended as heroes. Actually, they're the ones who created this whole pandemic and all the disaster around the world. So if you want to escape like the 9 to 5 jobs, one of my strategy that worked out really well was to think of what they want to achieve, and I invest in stuff that they need for their control. And then also in 2026, we are not allowed to drive with diesel cars anymore. We need to drive with cars that are hybrid, meaning half electrical, half gasoline, if I'm not wrong. So what I clearly can see is that if we live in a controlled and a digital society, we can see that the government can control everything from a distance. Let's say, for example, you have an electric car, you just drive, and the police is stopping you. You cannot drive your car anymore because they can just turn it off from a distance. That's how much power they have. If you have those digital ID and you're against the government or whatever your conspiracy theories, or your potential terrorist or whatever, they're gonna label you for anything. They just block your digital ID that is connected with basically anything. If you look at this in this image, your insurances, your banking, your government, you can participate in social media anymore. You can't even do your groceries anymore. Your career, you won't be able to travel anymore. They have a lot of power with this digital ID that's coming up. So if it's coming, um, see if you can do something against it. Like don't go for it. Don't fall for it. It's all basically, if you look at history, it's all just propaganda, and it's just trying to take more control and more power over the human population. So we live in a very strange time. Like honestly, the Great Depression. If you look at 1929, if I'm not wrong, the Great Depression, what we experienced in the last 2 years during the pandemic, it was far worse than the Great Depression. So the whole economy is like, that's why they kept saying we need a great reset. The whole economy is totally fucked up. Like seriously. We printed, how much money did we print in the past 2 years? 11
Uh,
trillion?
Million?
The
yeah, I'm not sure about the exact
Wait,
number.
I have a chart. Give me a second. You can look in this chart. So in this the Federal Reserve balance sheet, back in 2008 we had the housing crisis, the Lehman Brothers and whatever, and in 2020, ever since the pandemic happened, just look at the graph. How much money they printed? They printed more money than we in the past 40 years. It's going to be insane. So that's the reason why all those other currencies are not worth anymore, because there's too much money going around into the system. So that's why scarce assets such as gold, silver, and Bitcoin, including Bitcoin, they were increasing in price because it's scarce. Um, this is what I want to tell you guys. Is like the government, they eventually need to step in and print more money, and if they're gonna print more money, that's when the market's gonna be revived, and then the boom market's gonna continue. But until then, dollar cost averaging. Make sure you have some cash money somewhere around your house and save some money. And yeah, this is a good time to buy crypto and prepare yourself for the next bull market that's coming in 2024 around March, all the way up to 2025. So we gotta have a lot of patience. As an investor, you need to have a lot of patience and be able to control your emotion when everybody's angry and whatever. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share from my side. I'm pretty much going deep into the rabbit hole. I love it. But yeah, the numbers don't lie. It's the numbers don't lie. Yeah, that's from my side. I don't have anything else to add. It was a good conversation, Nasai. I learned a lot from your perspective as well. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it was
use some
great.
indicators and some glassnet. I'm gonna do that as well. I'm gonna look at those charts.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Glassnode is just great. Like,
yeah.
honestly,
Uh huh. It was insane, man. Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah.